This is Matt Cox, and I'm here with Juan Sanchez, which is basically like the John Smith, this Hispanic, right? It's
basically
extremely common last name. So what we're doing is we are reviewing some of BANDMAN KEVO's videos, and BANDMAN KEVO, if you don't know it, he's a guy that does. He actually
what does he do?
He actually went to. I'm pretty sure he went to prison at one point. Got out and started a YouTube channel where he helps people with the finesse game of credit card repair and building credit and getting real estate, and basically all around kind of an investment guy for the common man or the uncommon man. And we are going to review 3 of his videos, and it's going to be interesting and a lot of fun, and
with a lot of finesse.
And with a lot of finesse, and we're going to try and go over, since Juan and I do have expertise, we're going to go ahead and review some of his videos to see exactly just how off he is. And he's not always off, but he is sometimes. So let's get going right now. How to finesse the credit bureaus out of an 800+ credit score. So let's start at the beginning. This is him in a car talking about credit.
Not a car, a Lambo.
Is it a Lambo? No, it is a Lambo.
Lambo, man.
Nice.
Yeah, 800 in less than 2 months.
800 credit score in less than 2 months, by the way. It's already not
800.
possible, so that's fine. Even with the tricks that he uses.
It's impossible.
Well, actually, in a way it does. We'll see. You got to hear what he's doing.
Trying to get a credit score that's an 800 in less than 2 to 3 months. Very first step.
Impossible.
On trade lines or primaries. What are trade lines and primaries? Trade lines are a piggyback off someone else's credit. So let's say if I got a credit card,
You can.
and I want to make
I've done it. I still do it.
Yeah.
If I want to make you an authorized user on my credit card so you can gain my history.
That's true.
That is absolutely wrong. You know, the feds created that system.
Sign up for to have memberships that if you buy something from their site, they will give you a $5,000 credit.
Nice. It's got the little subscribe click.
As far as like, I could tell you a few sites as far as that you can sign.
He's giving a little bit of information here, which is actually good.
You know what I mean? You can go to myjewellersclub.com. They give you an automatic $5,000, you know what I'm saying, primary that will report. And you know what I'm saying? It'll probably shoot you up a nice amount of points. You can sign up for new Coast Direct. You can sign up for Huntington Chase. You can sign up for an app called Self. You know what I mean? Like, it's also another credit card called Grain, the digital credit card. It's on the App Store. You know what I'm saying? It's all types of different sites you can sign up for. These are good primaries that will help your credit shoot up crazy. Now, on my OnlyFans, I got like over $60,000 worth of primaries that you can go to, and you can sign up for every single site. And basically,
you can sign up for American Express and it will increase your credit. You can sign up for a $200,000 mortgage and it will increase your credit.
Yeah, but this is...
You know what I'm saying? You definitely have to pay these places back on time. My suggestion is basically having a banking account linked and do auto payment. You know what I mean? Primaries,
horrible
trade lines,
suggestion.
you know what I'm saying? You put those two together, you unstoppable. You'll be able to get a lot. You'll be able to get higher limit credit cards. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys sign up for the Experian app to keep...
Did they just
Is that aluminum foil?
They're showing...
You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about the credit,
It's a Dolce & Gabbana.
Oh, sorry.
Dolce & Gabbana.
I thought it was a burrito for Chipotle.
He's wearing the same kind of. It's a whole outfit that matches. Yeah. See.
Oh. Like an Elon Musk
But he
kind
had
of a SpaceX thing going.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop real quick because he's kind of just rambling a little bit.
Yes.
And we interrupted him a bunch of times,
Jesus.
and I apologize about that. My bad. But so it depends. Boy, you're ready to just chew him up, aren't you? Okay, stop. So listen, here's the problem with the statement that he's not clarifying the statement. I'm gonna let.
Which statement?
The statement where you can jump your credit up just by getting on a primary. First of all, the little, what was that thing? The
Piggyback riding?
No, one thing at a time. For
Oh,
God's
sorry.
sakes. All right, let's start there. So
No. Let's start where you want to start. To jump your credit to 800 in 60 to 90 days.
Okay, so first off, let's assume one thing. If you have no credit, the credit agency will not generate credit scores for you with no history, for 6 months. But he's talking about, and he always does this, by the way. He calls them trade lines, and then he says trade lines, and then he calls it piggybacking. But what he's saying is, and I've watched 2 videos where it's not real clear. What he's saying is he wants you to what's called piggybacking off of someone else's trade line. So Juan has a credit card that he's had for 10 years.
Correct.
It's got a $20,000 high credit limit. He owes less than $500 on it. So it's helping to generate 800 credit scores for Juan, let's say. Now, if Juan adds me onto his credit card as an he'll call it as an AU, an authorized user, then after about the next time his credit card,
The next cycle.
when his credit card reports again, they will also report on my credit. Only though, if part of the authorized user sign, where he signs me onto it, they ask for my name, date of birth, and social security number. Because a lot of these companies won't do that.
Let me stop you right there, because this is exactly something that I'm doing right now, teaching. Okay, and I'm getting results on this, and I'm getting not results on this.
Right. Depends on the credit card.
There is only 7 credit cards that actually report. So a lot of people don't know this. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Berkeley, that will report an authorized user.
Okay, you got to clarify it. See what I'm saying?
Correct. So the other cards will take an authorized user.
And they'll give you a card.
Of course, but it will not report.
Right.
The other thing is what you're trying to alter, which he doesn't explain there, is the limit balance part of your score, which is only 30% of your score.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot has to do with your history. So when he says, well, you can get to an 800 score. Well, starting where?
Right.
If I'm at 400, I'm going to jump to 800? No. If I'm on 700, yeah. But this is the funny part. If I'm at 0, yeah, it's going to get me at 800.
You have nothing else reported.
Because I have nothing else.
Right. But seldomly, and keep in mind now all that's showing up is I'm an authorized signer on somebody, and it says authorized user.
That's key also. On your credit report, it's going to show authorized user.
Yeah.
So when the lender is going to approve you for the loan, he's going to know that that's not you.
Yes.
So he's not going to take that trade line under consideration.
Right. So
know that from the get-go.
Unless it's something that's generated just off your score,
like a credit card,
like another credit card, right? So,
or like an auto loan.
Well, first of all, if it's an auto loan, think about it. By the time if at some point somebody has to see it, they might catch it. There's a good chance they catch it.
Did you know? Or did you know this camera right here? Or this one, Kobe? Did you know? No, not there. Did you know that, which I didn't know, there is 16 FICO scores nowadays per bureau?
No, I didn't know that.
It's a disaster because now they have FICO 1 through 8, and it's called 1 through 8 auto, 1 through 8 bank card.
So one's auto for automobiles?
Automobiles only. So you may get a 680, but when you go get a loan, they tell you, well, you only have a 590 because your 680 is on bank card, is not on FICO auto. I didn't know that stuff.
Do you know why that makes sense to me? When I went to go get my loan on my car, and I told the woman, I was like, oh, I got a 755. When they pulled it, it was like a 730. And I asked her, I said, no, I just pulled it. Yeah. Like I get updates every month. And I said, a week ago. And she said, oh, no, ours is different. And I remember thinking, yours isn't different. I was like, yours isn't different than the one.
So
you're
we go back to
FICO.
To what score are we talking about? What score am I trying to increase? Which score is going to get to 800? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. He'll probably tell you all that if you join his fans only page.
Every time you say fans only, I think that I'm going to look at some nasty stuff.
You're thinking he's there naked talking to you about credit.
Like, let me get you.
BANDMAN
to increase
Kevo
your
is
FICO.
He's laying there with a bunch of credit cards. He's like swimming through credit cards naked. And he talks to you naked.
I'll get your credit up if you know what I'm saying.
That's not what. No. So that's one thing.
By the way, what's happening with this camera? We're not in there anymore.
I don't know.
Colby, what happened with the middle camera?
Still recording.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because the card's full. Correct.
I mean, this is not my gig, so I don't know what's going on.
It's still recording now here, so we'll just clear it after.
Okay, that's fine. So, and listen, there was a time when I would have been like, "We're gonna stop. You got to clip that. I don't care."
Clip one.
Like, oh, we gotta cut that, Colby, that where we point at the thing. It's just, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no.
Right.
It's your rawness. It's the nature of this podcast what makes you popular. Yeah, absolutely. You're legit.
I feel like it should be blowing.
You're a legit fraudster.
How does that even mean?
I don't know. I had a teacher that used to say, you know you're a fraudster when you can fake sincerity.
Oh,
and I was like, I can do that all day. I'll cry.
Yeah, you fake sincerity. You've got it made.
How many ugly children you complimented in your life to get people's money? Oh my God, this is your son? Yeah. What a beautiful boy. I tell you, the cross eyes really did it for me.
Yeah.
So the club food,
my dad told me, listen, my father told me when I was growing up, he said, you'll always be able to get a job selling, being a salesman. I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, listen, the secret of sales is sincerity. If you can fake that, you got it made.
Absolutely.
He goes, and you've got that in spades. I was like, and tip to my dad, that was a huge compliment. Probably one of the best compliments I've ever gotten from a guy.
I tell people in my classes, my mom always tells me, listen, if you end up in a wheelchair, I know you'll make money. But if you lose your voice, you're done.
Oh, you're done. So
yeah.
All right.
So going back to this guy. Enough about us. You already know that we suffer from a massive narcissism.
Yes. The other thing he mentions here is he mentions where he says you can go and you can get a jeweler's. I think he calls it. I could be wrong. It's like a
jeweler club.
Right. So jeweler's club. So that's not a primary card. Primary cards are like,
No, that's not. But he mentioned one that is really good that also is new. It's called Self.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with this.
No.
You actually tell them, listen, I want to save $3,000.
Right.
So they set you up for a savings plan. And they ask you, well, how much are you going to put into it? $75 a month, $25 a month. You tell them, okay, $75 a month. And they report it as a loan that you are paying $75 a month.
Really?
When you come up with the total of the money, they'll cut you a check.
Nice.
I know.
Nice.
Same as right now you can report your rent. There are companies that you pay the rent to, and you pay like a $9 monthly fee, and they report it. And they backtrack it to the date of the lease. So they'll report 24 months on your credit.
Nice.
So this is my issue. You Google that stuff. It's not like...
You have to pay $500.
It's not like, listen, I know a guy in the corner that he can give you a trade line. No. That's only if you're going to use that money to buy cocaine.
Yeah. So he mentions that but you're right. So basically, primary cards are like from actually bank cards that are issued from like Wells Fargo or
you know why
Bank of
I think
America.
he calls them primary? Because you're the primary on the account. You're not an authorized user. I think it just clicked on me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So look, if you have no credit at all, and you go out and you get to me a solid way. And he kind of goes over this. So this is a solid way to build credit. Go out and get 3 secured credit cards for $400 or $500 a piece. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be rich. Matter of fact, you could go out and get one credit card for let's say $1,000. Then you can get like a convenience check.
Matt, you're so outdated. You're so 1980s. It's ridiculous.
But it works. I'm trying to
a
low down way to.
But there's easier ways to do it nowadays with technology, man. Like I'm telling you, first thing. Self. You want to get credit right now? First thing you're going to do is you're going to go to self.com.
Okay.
You're going to establish a savings account, a goal, and they're going to report right away.
Okay.
You're going to go to, I think it's a rent report or something like that. If not, they can email you and I'll put the websites on your... Actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'll put the websites on this podcast.
You got to make them go to your fans only page.
I don't have a fans only page because I thought I had to show my penis and there isn't much to show.
So you have to go to the fans only page. Then you can tell them what they could already basically look
so
up
we
on
can
YouTube.
do something like that.
All right.
And
I'll put his... I'm going to put his Juan's email address in the description
because
you can contact him.
If you have been renting for 2 years, it's going to show as a trade line 24 months old, and every time you pay the rent, it's going to show right there. So you have 2 right there.
Right.
And then get your uncle or your aunt to put you as an authorized user on one of... Piggyback riding.
I understand that, but I'm saying build your own credit.
Well,
I'm saying get a secure credit card.
But once that this guy puts you on his credit card, in 60 days, you can go get your own credit card and forget about the secure credit card situation.
All right.
I mean, I'll give you 5-6 websites on that are solid, and there are things that you are doing right now.
Right.
That if you do them,
you just have to continue being you.
You just got to continue being you, and it's a lot of stuff that you're paying right now that is not that you're not reporting on.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So we're gonna keep going with BANDMAN.
By the way, did you know that there is a law that just passed Congress and is on Senate right now where the government wants to take over the credit reporting?
No.
And they want to eliminate Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and they're going to become the credit reporting agency.
Did you know in China?
That's going to be horrendous.
Did you know in China that they have facial recognition software almost everywhere in the inner cities, and that they track.
Oh my God!
I knew. See, you're gonna
Sorry about that.
See,
that's probably gonna get you.
Like,
yeah, Kobe already. Yeah. I saw Kobe going.
I just lost.
Kobe just wrote down the minute when I said that, so he can take it out.
All right. So what happens is they actually track you, and like if you litter or you're late on your rent or you're late, and they're coming up with it. They call it it's like a social score. And literally, like if you're caught littering, if you're caught smoking on like public transportation, if you're caught, there's all these, all these little things, like if you've been caught with a, graffiti or all kinds of little stupid things that they basically combine all these things. They give you a social score and they'll limit how far you can travel, where you can live, if you can leave the country.
I'll tell you a story, and this is something that's why I want your viewers to Google this stuff. If you look at the history of Equifax, that's how they got started. They used to report people's behaviors, relationships with their mother, with their spouses.
It's important.
Sexual activity at home, and then they will have a report. And based on that, the lenders will choose to lend you or not, and life insurance and health insurance and all that stuff.
Nice.
So that's before the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they created a law. Thank God they don't report sexual activity anymore. Otherwise...
Let's keep going. All right, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna hit the button. Hit the button. Okay, boom.
Body to just work on your credit, get your credit score up as much as you can, because it's a lot of people out here with money. They don't have no credit at all. They can get a regular car.
But that's a good advice.
6, you know what I'm saying? A 5, you know what I'm saying? Only thing that could be holding your points back from being on your credit, or you might not even have no credit. Just for the people that don't have no credit. All you need is some trade lines. All you need is some primaries or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Once you put that on your credit, you straight. You feel me? You're gonna be able to really turn up. You're gonna be able to really go to the next level as far as.
Well, that's what he said. That's
but
not.
You need the history though.
I understand.
Ask your bank for a credit card, and if you don't get like a high limit credit card, my suggestion is just ask for a secure credit card. So let's say if you got $5,000, right? You can go inside of your bank and be like,
You're acting like it doesn't work. It does work.
It works, but why are you gonna freeze $5,000? Are you gonna pay interest on your own money?
The interest is a joke. The interest is nothing. You're just arguing to be argumentative at this point. Look.
You might be getting 50, 60, 70,000.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Because credit ain't number trust. The more that the banks feel like they can trust you.
Does it show the rental agency?
You know what I'm saying? So if they feel like, oh, well, he already got a $40,000 credit card. He already got a $50,000 credit card. We can offer him 100 now. We can offer him 200,000. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, if you with a good bank, you can get secure credit cards. You can
Listen. When you have larger credit limits, and when you have when you have those types of things, the bank is more. If you have good scores and you have larger limits, they are willing to lend you larger amounts of money.
That's the problem. True. I think people don't understand credit. I think he doesn't understand credit. Your credit report shows two things: your past and your future. Your score is your future. Your record is your past.
Okay.
It's like you, man. You have a dark past, but you have a brilliant future. Would I introduce you to my daughters? No, because I know your past. However,
you're going to watch this.
However, based on your future, you can fool some people.
Fool some people.
So
I mean, you're not helping me.
So credit score is the same thing. So yeah, I get 2 credit cards. I'm going to have a score of 700. You know this, man. You know when you go to a bank with brand new credit, how many people you've seen when you were a mortgage broker? Oh, I have 720 of score. Yeah, dude, but you only had these credit cards for 6 months.
Right.
We need 2 years.
Yeah. Or at least at the minimum, it depends.
At least one trade line had to be 2 years.
Yes.
So, the score...
Well, if not, then you go FHA. You know
if not, you go FHA, right. But then you have to justify the
higher interest rate.
That's a whole nother video that we just did. Yeah, which you should all watch. But the score will get you credit cards and it will get you the cars and it may give you personal loans, but it's not gonna give you what people are looking for. The $200,000 and the $300,000 is not gonna happen.
No. Okay.
Not with one secure credit card. Are you kidding me?
you can actually borrow against the $200,000 that's sit in your banking account. You can, after you pay that money back, even though it's your money, but it's basically is helping building your credit. Now you can actually go in there and set something up with them and say, okay, cool. I would like to take out $700,000. I would like a loan for $800,000. You have the history on your credit showing that the $200,000.
I'm gonna have to pull a little card here, which I hate pulling. And you know me, you know my history, dude. I was a freaking millionaire.
Right.
Okay, my money all came from banks.
Right.
I didn't just walk into a bank and said, "Hey, listen, I borrow money, just give me." And I had signature loans,
right?
Which a lot of people don't know what they are.
What he starts off by saying, this is the part. He starts off by saying that you can go to a bank and give them $200,000 and they will lend you your own $200,000 back. And I first of all, I don't know. First, he also starts talking about like putting. Well, we'll see that in a minute. But yeah, so it's like, where are you getting $200,000?
And why do you have bad credit?
Okay,
if you have 200 grand, pay your freaking medical bills.
Yeah, fix your credit.
Yeah.
Those is little tips that I can tell you. If y'all got
Just little tips. I know a lot about credit and I know a lot about income. It sounds like a caveman. Like income good, credit good.
And we're gonna watch this part.
I have enough people hating me already without having to do this podcast.
You've got a ton. I mean, it's gonna be good.
This is gonna be.
I'm desperate to read the comment section about people because
you don't understand. I'm brown.
These
they
guys
won't miss me if they kill me. But you're white. You're a token.
All right.
You'll make the news. I won't make the news.
I'm still a felon.
If you don't show up, you'll make the news. If I don't show up, people will be like, well, there's,
Get me dumb. I feel like all of this is demonetized. So, all right. Yeah, all right, play it.
Trade lines, all of that. So today we're going to talk about, and this is obviously an exclusive interview that we're going to be having for our individual fans, his only fans, my individual mastermind. So thank you guys for watching.
Individual masterminds? Is that what it is? There's mastermind.
They're individual though.
Cash guy. I've made a lot of cash, and I've like all the businesses that I've been a part of. I've been real estate wholesaling. I made millions and millions of dollars. That's all cash. There was no credit needed. I've been in, now my e-commerce business again. A lot of cash that I've been moving. Not a lot of credit that's needed specifically. Right. So in my line of business, I didn't really need to master the art of credit. Right. But for you had to, because you have, $4 million worth of exotic cars that you're renting out. Right. You got Airbnbs all over the place that you're renting out. So you have a lot of cash flow.
All that's probably true. It may be true.
It's not true, man. It's not true.
He's got a diamond necklace.
Listen, man.
He's wearing Dolce &
If you have that kind of cash, you're not doing YouTube videos.
Basically telling me like I couldn't get anything, even with a month.
When I make that money again, I'm never coming to these freaking videos again. So you better take advantage of me while I'm poor.
That's true. The videos are fun. All right.
Trade lines are ways that you can pay people or companies to piggyback off of their credit. So let's say
No.
His definition.
Stop, brother.
7 minutes.
That's fraud. That's illegal. Okay, what he's talking about is paying people to add a trade line to your credit.
Right. No, well, I think he's trying to explain what
because
a trade
that exists.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And that's a federal crime.
I understand. Unless you do it like with his jewelers club, the jewelers club.
Well, that's different.
Because they actually are providing something. But if you're just paying someone to put a trade line on your credit, that's different.
I have right now that I pass in classes 10 indictments fresh off the press that I research on. All people that paid to have trade lines added to their credit so they could go get some credit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, but I feel like what he's saying, he's still talking about piggybacking. He keeps saying trade lines are piggybacking, but what he means is what he just doesn't. He's just not very good at clarifying, explaining. What he's trying to say is you need trade lines. And one of the ways to get trade lines on your credit, to build your credit is built by trade line. Trade lines are loans, auto loans, credit card loans,
correct,
personal loans, student loans, whatever the loans
and
are.
And not all trade lines
mortgages,
are good.
Right. But you're gonna
furniture stores, not good.
Right. With that, we talked about that earlier. That's not what's like a major credit line.
That will kill your credit score. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. It's so. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that he keeps saying that, and what he's trying to say is that, look, you need to build your credit with solid trade lines. And then he says, how do you get those? Is he then jumps back to, you can piggyback off people that have legitimate ones and ask them to add you as an authorized user, which is what we just went over. But he explains it badly, and that's why it gets confusing. And once again, he's trying to move you to his fan-only page.
You can basically pay them for
Sorry.
their history to be on your credit.
That's fraud. That's what I'm telling you about. He's telling you that you can pay somebody, dude. Oh my God, man! Somebody just got indicted now for doing this.
I know, but I've heard him say, like, there's another video where he's just like, he and another guy, they talk about straight fraud. They talk about, listen to what they talk about. This is. Oh my, dude! They have another video called.
This information cannot be out there, man.
Sure it can. It's fine. Let them get some people indicted. So the other thing he does is he has a video where he talks about, here's how you acquire real estate. You buy a property. You tell the lender you're going to live in it. Then once you get the loan, you then go and you get another property. Because you only have to put down 5%, 3 to 5% if you're going to live in the property, depending on whether it's conventional or FHA. So he says, tell them you're going to live in it, put down 5%. Then he says and then you rent it out. The next property, you say, hey, I'm going to live in this one. You rent it out. You get the 95% loan, you rent it out. Then you get another property. You say, hey, I'm going to live in this one. That's called owner occupancy fraud.
Correct.
And it's like there's 8 major frauds, 8 major scams, and there's like a cashback scam, there's a log cabin scam, there's a farming scam, which was my personal favorite. There's straw man scam, and one of them, one of them is called it's called owner occupancy fraud, and it's very common. But he blatantly spells it out. Like that's one of his strategies with this other guy, this real estate guy. The real estate guys, they're talking about.
The only blessing we have here is most people are procrastinators.
Well,
so they'll look at this thing and they'll never do it.
They'll never do it. Like,
and he knows that, and we all know that. I mean, I can tell you, listen, you want to raise some money very quickly. If you're an American citizen, go marry an undocumented alien and charge him 20. I mean. Yeah, that's fraud. Right. If you do that, but how many people are going to go out there and do this stuff?
And it's an overt act, and the problem is most people are unable to commit overt acts. They're simply unwilling. I've had guys...
But he's getting people buying the seminar, and he's getting people buying the books or whatever he's selling.
Yeah, no. He's
I mean, the aluminum foil shoes are not cheap.
No, those are expensive shoes.
Yeah.
Dolce & Gabbana aluminum or tinfoil. So, but what's interesting is... people, once again, they'll pay for that. They'll buy the things, but it's pulling the trigger. Yeah. Pulling the trigger is difficult.
A lot of people are not doers.
When I used to teach my real estate class, I used to say...
Where, in prison or out of prison?
No, in prison. When I was in prison...
I used to be in your training class.
It was good. It was a good class.
It was, yeah.
So when I did that class... guys would come up to me after class and they would say, bro, you're giving out all this knowledge. Like, aren't you worried that people are going to go out and do it? I was like, you understand I can tell 1,000 people this? Maybe one guy will go out and do it. And even then, I'm not concerned that he's going to do it better than me.
Correct.
So most of these guys just will not pull the trigger. Because it's not, being a millionaire is not that difficult.
I tell you, we were just talking before this podcast about our friend Lance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lance... was indicted because he committed a fraud a little bigger than Matt's, a little bigger than me.
How many billion?
3 billion. And you know that he paid 2 billion back?
Well, you have to. You really have to.
So he kept
try
the
and
other
make it right, Colby,
But
if I had a dime for every time I had to pay $1 billion or 2 billion back,
pesos,
he was going to pay 3 billion back. He just...
Well, he needed money for the commissary.
He just didn't have it on me.
He said, I need my money for my commissary and my phone and that kind of stuff. He gave me some distinctions on business credit that are unbelievable, and I didn't know about it. That's the kind of stuff that people should be looking into. This is pure madness. Pure madness. But Lance used to teach a business credit class, and like you said, half the people learned that stuff. They didn't do anything with it. They came out and they...
Oh, no.
Well, we know somebody already that
do you know,
went back.
As many guys that I taught the real estate class to, I had maybe 1 or 2 guys that got out. I had one guy that got out, was doing stuff, buying houses and selling them, renovating houses, selling them. One guy, he was like, bro, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you. Because I had a lot of guys, I'm going to take care of you when I get out. I'm going to this, I'm going to send you money. I'm going to this. And of course, you never hear from them.
I'm going to take care of you in many ways, more than one.
I don't know what that means. So one of the guys actually sent me money. I think he sent me like $100, maybe $150 in. And listen, I was super
From the so they
from the
got,
outside, super appreciative that he sent me the money because I never expected anybody to send me anything from any of these guys. He actually did it. And we're talking about hundreds.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hundreds.
That's
of
why I
guys.
used to charge him when I was in prison.
Yeah.
Listen, you want me to help you with your paperwork? You know how many detainees or inmates at the time, depending on where I was, credits I fixed in prison, and I got their score up, and they got out of prison. And I have records and records and records. You know what we should do? We should take Colby as our prodigy.
Colby's like, listen, I don't want to go to prison.
I think we should build Colby up to an 800 plus. We should finesse him into an 800 score.
He's probably already got an 800 credit. Bro, Colby, you understand? Colby's a guy that's done everything
so
right in
why
life.
are we using Colby's credit?
Why aren't we?
Yeah.
Stop. Because Colby has a wife that would never let him do it. Not that Colby would do it, but he also has to bounce everything off of the way. Colby's like a legitimate, regular guy. All right, so let's.
Isn't it crazy that we talked about regular guys like that are so rare? Like Colby, you know Colby? He's like that one guy that doesn't screw people out of money.
Yeah, he's that one guy.
Yeah, like most people are like us.
No, they're not. Stop. Wait, what are you doing, bro? I mean, I'm gonna get flack anyway for just doing this video. All right.
So let's continue. Let's finesse.
I think most people are genuinely good. I like to put
Let's finesse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the next step of, if I don't have no credit cards and I get $30,000 on my credit, automatically I will be qualified for at least a $20,000 credit card until that trade line falls off. There's are certain websites that you can join up for and become a member, and they give you $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 credit points. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they revolve. They revolve all the time on your credit. So, for instance, My Jewelers Club is a great. They give you $5,000.
My Jewelers Club is a website.
It's a website.
And that's the primary's website.
Yes.
Okay.
They give you $5,000.
That's the tip.
You know what I'm saying? They give you $5,000. Once they give you $5,000, it shows up on your credit. You might shoot up 50, 60, 70 points. You feel me? So if you got a primary with an authorized user, which is a trade line, you know what I mean? And you put them both together, if you signed up with Experian is going to recommend you a certain type of credit card.
What do you get?
You got the history you got the $5,000 history, and you have age AU, which let's say if the AU is 30,000 and the account been open for 15 years. If that's
authorized, you mean AU is the authorized user?
I thought it was what women used to know to get pregnant.
Oh my God!
15 years at $30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get that. So that's a trade line that you get on your own credit, right?
Yeah.
So
See,
if you
he's
get
talking about
something like
authorized
that,
users.
what will the bank see, and why is that beneficial? So
okay,
now I want to buy an
now,
exotic car.
Okay, for instance, now if I'm the banker and you come in versus not having anything on your credit and you tell me you want this car, okay.
They run out right away and buy it. And will you get me $200,000 worth of $300,000 worth of credit? I'm gonna run out and buy an exotic car.
Like
how are you paying for that? How are you paying
Kia
that back?
or something like that.
No.
Sorry or whatever, or they might try to convince you to put over 75% down on the car in order for them to even think to trust you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because credit is trust. That's all it is. So I say most people, they get primaries first. You know what I mean?
Credit is what?
Trust.
Like,
That's
true.
true.
Like on my OnlyFans, I was telling you, I got over $50,000 worth of primaries on there. You know what I mean? And if you sign up for all 50,000,
On the
I got over
OnlyFans.
50,000.
you get at least a $50,000, $60,000 credit card.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's insane. So now that you can now obviously you have a $50,000 credit card, you can invest in multiple different businesses.
Exactly.
And what were you able to do?
So
You know what I'm
the
saying?
first thing that I did was when I did all that with the primaries and the AUs, I basically took the credit off the credit cards and invested. You get what I'm saying? Let my money come back, and when it started doubling, I reinvested back into my credit. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Finding higher trade lines. You can also get history. Like I was looking always for older trade lines, 20-year, 30-year trade lines. You know what I mean? You don't want to get them too old because it's also based on your age. You can't be 20 years old with a 20-year trade line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if you're a little older, you can, because some parents, when the kids in high school, they add their children on trade lines at 15, 16.
Right.
So it makes sense, but credit is all about history and they just want to feel like they can trust you.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
So now you get, really the point of this is if you don't have money, What he just said is you really don't have the knowledge. That's what it is. Like most people, if you don't have money, it's not that you don't have money, it's that you don't have the knowledge because the money's there. Yeah. If you finesse and you understand how trade lines work, you can literally get a $30,000 to $50,000 credit card limit overnight.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it because it's not going anywhere.
This is not going anywhere. Yeah, this is very repetitive.
I would like to mention one thing that they don't, because some of that's true, some of it's not. Here's the other problem: is that look, if you go into Bank of America and let's say you've gotten the authorized user, as I got 2 people to put me on their card, I got the 15 years worth of perfect credit. Let's say I have my scores are 760. I can go to Bank of America and I can apply for a credit card for $20,000 or $30,000. That is all possible, right?
It is possible.
But the problem is the people that are watching these videos, you do understand you have to have had a job. Like this isn't having the score and the credit isn't the only factor in getting.
Just because the guy's name is Vasquez doesn't mean, are you trying to tell me that my people are unemployed? And
I'm just saying these are people that are not. These are people watching this video that are not savvy enough to already have this knowledge and be using this knowledge. These are people that are uneducated in credit. Uneducated in credit.
Listen, the nature of your crime, what was the nature of your crime? The same nature of my crime. People that are unsophisticated, hungry for money, and you sell them a dream. That's just what's happening. No.
I borrowed money from banks. What are you talking about?
Right.
Stop putting me in your category,
that must have been my crime. My crime was, so you all know, taking advantage of people that were ambitious but had no knowledge.
Yes.
So when you are like that, you cannot buy into anybody.
You're convincing them to buy houses that they really necessarily couldn't afford.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if for you to go into the bank and get a $30,000 credit card, like you have to have been on your job. You have to be,
and you need to have a history with that bank,
right?
Unless you're going to, like, this is the part that I don't understand.
If I apply for a $20,000 credit card or $10,000 credit card, I'm probably going to get the $10,000 credit card.
This is what you should do. This is what I don't understand. Why don't you go to nerdwallet.com or bankrate.com? You don't have to walk into any freaking bank. They run your credit and they're going to tell you qualify for these 5 credit cards.
But I don't think he literally meant walk into your bank. I think he meant more I think he meant more like you go online, you apply online.
He doesn't mention credit unions. Credit unions are great.
They are great. So here's what I'm saying is that you basically have to have a job.
Yeah.
So that's the problem is a lot of these things, they're only mentioning a certain part.
But can I lie about my job?
I mean, that would basically is probably what's going to happen with these guys, or these guys will get turned down and say, I don't understand. I've been on my job at Walmart for the last 4 months.
So if I make $35,000 a year, would they lend me $50,000 on credit card?
No, they're not going to.
Unless I tell them.
Maybe because the problem is you sit there and you have to fill out the application, and people are like, well, I still make $50. I can make the payments. Yeah, I understand, but you do understand that they're going to say, how much is your rent? Oh, my rent, it's $1,200. Then they're going to see your car payment. Oh, so if you're making $35,000 a year. You're not getting a $50,000 loan if you put down all of your other bills accurately. Or if you say, I've just been on my job for 4 months, but I watched BANDMAN Kevo's video. He said I can come in here and get a loan.
And I'm here to buy my Lambo.
Right. I'm here to get $50,000 or $200,000, whatever it is. Like, you have to be able to qualify for that.
And nobody wants to hear that.
No.
Nobody.
Well,
listen, the fat people don't want to hear that to lose weight, you have to stop eating.
No, you need the ab roller.
You need the ab roller. The broke people don't want to understand that to make money, you have to educate yourself.
Right.
So this is the easy solution. This is a quick fix.
Easy. Well, it's hype, and he's trying to move you to his fan page. OnlyFans
or whatever.
His OnlyFans.
That lets you know that we've been in prison too long. We don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
he wants to move you to his MySpace.
Yeah. So.
And his AOL account.
Because some of the stuff is correct. A lot of the stuff he says is correct. I mean, I know you're.
Yeah. I mean,
he has a hard time explaining it, and he never quite goes all the way in on explaining it. So it sounds good. It's like when I talk about flipping a house, I'm like, yeah, man, I bought this house for $50,000. I put 25 in it, and I sold it for $150. People think, oh my God, like.
So that easy, so easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
You need 75,000. Like, it's not one of the shows.
And the other thing is my philosophy after serving some quality time with the feds is, if you cannot say it in front of a federal agent, then probably what you're saying is not quite kosher, if you will.
This is very least fraud based.
Could be perceived that way.
It's very trendy. Miami, very trendy. He's going to talk about how to find a hard money lender.
We want to know about hard money lenders. What can you tell us about hard money lenders?
All right, so hard money lenders is how I got into the flip game myself. See, early on, like
Dude, you're putting me through this again? Really?
money lender, and he ain't checked my credit. All he wanted to do was know that I had a good deal. If the deal made sense, and I showed him and gave him faith that I could actually pull it off with my crew that's going to do all of the renovation work, he trusted me.
I like the B-roll.
All the money that I needed to flip this house, and then I was actually able to go ahead and flip it. And my first check that I did on a flip up in Baltimore was $85,000. That's what I was able to put back into my pocket at the end of that flip.
How do you meet hard money lenders?
You can meet hard money lenders by just going to your local RIA meetups. Every city and state have them. It's just a bunch of local real estate investors or newbies that's interested in the real estate market. They all get together and have these meetups where they all share and game to each other.
Juan and I don't agree on everything, but everything he just said is correct. What he said is correct.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, because I don't know what the other guy's name with Kevo here is. I don't know what this guy's name is, but yeah. Well, how do you find a hard money lender? You can go to your local RIAs. And you can join them, and they have a lot of them have newsletters, and you can find them. Most of the time, the hard money lender that comes out, he'll look at the property. He's not that concerned with you. He doesn't really care how bad a credit. Look, if you have horrible, horrible credit, and you owe tax liens, and you owe judgments, and you're in bankruptcy, he's not lending you the money. So a lot of the stuff they say, they kind of skate over those little things.
I think,
but if the deal works, if the house is going to be worth $200,000 and you're buying it for $50,000, that means the aftermarket value. Once it's renovated, it's worth $200. You're buying it for $50. He'll lend you 65% of the $200,000, right? So if 65%, that's $130,000. He'll lend you the $130, provided you don't have. Your credit is not so insane that you're going to end up having issues when you sell the house.
But this is what confused. The concept is correct.
Yes, right. Well, that's all he does.
Because the concept is this: if I have a good deal, dude, I don't need a hard money lender. My Uncle Joe will go in the deal with me. Because if I have a deal that is $50,000, like you said, and I'm gonna sell it for $200,000, I'm gonna put another $50,000. That's $100,000 profit.
Right.
Anybody will go on that deal.
Well, I understand, but they're not saying you could friends and family. They're just saying for an average guy who was raised on the street, has no access to friends and family that have money.
The other thing is
you can go to a hard money lender. This is a thing, is what I'm saying.
There is a thing. Hard money lenders are a thing, and it's
I've borrowed from tons of them.
So have I, and they've saved my neck many times.
Yeah,
many times. But they want to know the crew that is going to go in. They want to make sure that the crew has licenses, have permits.
He doesn't go over and all that.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't.
So it's not like, listen, I'm going to go to the border, and as they're jumping the wall, I'm going to make them part of my crew. No.
Right.
These guys need to be certified, and they need to be licensed and all that stuff.
Well, initially...
So it takes a structure.
Right. So initially, look, what he's definitely right about this is that he wants to know you have the confidence to do it. So now after I've started with a hard money lender, I've done several deals, things change because it's just a guy, right? Typically, as long as it's not an institution. An institution, it never changes. But if it's just a guy, and that's why he's right, the local guys are better. So they come in, you meet with them, you say, look, I'm buying the house for $200,000. I'm buying the house for $50,000. It's going to be worth $200,000. He knows the area. He looks around and he goes, this will definitely sell for $200,000 if you do the renovations. Then he's going to say, what are you going to do to it though? So they want a takedown schedule where you say,
correct.
Look, so I'm going to do this with the first $25,000. I'm going to do this with the next $30,000. I'm going to do this.
And they release the funds as you're doing.
Right, after you've finished it.
Correct.
So they're not giving you $50,000 to buy the house and your first section of renovations. They're not saying, how much do you need? Here's $25,000. That's not what's happening. What happens is you have to figure out how to do the $25,000 in renovations first. Then he comes out and releases the money after it's done. See, that's the kind of thing they skate
Contingent
over.
to inspection and permits and all that stuff.
Right. Well, listen, I've done tons of it without it, but you're supposed to. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying.
Listen.
Especially as you go along, if they once you've done a couple properties and they realize, wow, this guy looked like, you saw those, like, although pictures can be.
Listen, really?
Yeah, I'm just saying, based on the B-roll, those pictures look good. Like, I'm not trying to take anything from the guy.
I don't want to.
He may be amazing.
I'm going to tell you what my issue is. What's the date of this video? September 14th, 2021?
2021.
I need somebody to find me a deal.
Where this is possible now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
This is
so
insane.
this is a great concept for the year 2023 when the market goes to shit again.
Right.
Or when it was 2006 when you destroyed it. Oh, no, that was me. Nice. When I destroyed the market.
Nice.
That was a great time to do this. Right now,
it's difficult.
It's impossible.
Well, but you also have to understand that right now what they're doing is, and we'll see this in the other videos, what they do is, this is conversion. He says a lot of good stuff that is actually accurate.
It's feeding off the greed.
And then he switches you to check out my fans only account, and you can join, and I will tell you all of the ins and outs. Now, the thing about this guy, and I hate to, like, I'm not trying to hate on him.
And I know I asked you this before, but I thought the fans only thing was just to show your penis.
No. There's guys there's professional guys that are there are people doing seminars, there are people doing talks, there are people.
Really?
Right. It's just that's what.
Because somebody told me that you can look at like at midgets and dirty feet and kind of like whatever fetish you were into, you go there and you find it.
You can, but you can also, there's professional guys like this guy that have fans only accounts.
Okay.
And so you can pay him $500 an hour to ask him questions, or I know a guy, and I don't know exactly how much the guy paid him, but the guy actually, to talk to him for like 15 minutes or something like that, or 30 minutes, he gave him like $500 for like a 30-minute phone call. And he said, but the problem was, he said the whole time I talked to him, all he did was like, yeah, you got to go do this. And he was like, well, how do I do that? He's like, yeah, you got to go to a bank and get that loan. And he's like, he wasn't telling him specifics.
I'll tell you one thing that it always worked for me. Nobody has to do the things the way I did them. But when I teach, or what I used to teach back in the days, I love to give people the address so they could check it out.
Right.
Listen, look at this property. I bought it at this place. Check it out right now. Let's go to Google Earth.
Right.
And take a view of before and after. That kind of stuff. Don't show me renderings or animations.
Or B-roll. That B-roll may have been real B-roll. That may be anyway. You're killing me. I'm not trying to.
But the concept, the hard money concept works. I think everybody should know hard lenders just in case of an emergency. Right. You pull them,
But it's more difficult than they're making it sound. So basically, he does explain where you can find them, how you can Google them. Like some of the information is good.
That joining those groups is phenomenal.
Yeah. Right. You can find a lot because the thing is, it's more than just like borrowing money or finding good houses. Like these guys will have lists of like, here's the best drywallers to use. Here are the guys that I use for my AC.
Correct.
This guy's reasonable.
Correct.
This guy will do your house or your roof.
And listen, if anybody's checking this video out and you really, really, really want to find these properties, where I used to find them and where I have people finding them today is on tax deed sales.
Right.
So you'll find people there that will coach you and teach you how to do it. It works.
We're going to see about what is wholesaling. Not that I don't know. I know what wholesaling is.
Do you now?
Cover my place so I know they can't find me. Baby, damn,
So wholesaling is very simple. Wholesaling is when you find a motivated seller connecting with a motivated buyer. So let's just say you find a property and the seller willing to take $15,000, and you know a buyer that's willing to pay $30,000. So right off the bat, you done secured $15,000 for yourself. Then that buyer gonna take that same 30 that he done paid, put another 50 in it, and turn around. Let's say they just, for example, might sell it for $150,000. It was a win all the way.
Oh my God.
They made they 15. It was a win for you. You put 15.
No, you got to stop this for a second because this went a little bizarre here. Let me see if I understand. The guy, he found a motivated seller that wants $15,000. So you check this out. So you bought it for 15,
right?
And then you sold it for 30. So you made 15.
Yes.
Because the house is really worth 150,000, which is what the last guy is gonna sell it for.
Right. So I know that doesn't.
Well, first of all, you gotta be some kind of moron if you bought it for 15 and sold it for 30. if it's really worth 150.
Well,
Sell it for 100.
I understand. But
I understand.
That's after renovations, though. They don't have the. He's saying like I don't have the money to renovate it, but I can flip the contract. But have you ever flipped? I've flipped.
Oh my
contracts.
God! But of course, options.
Yeah. Really, what they're talking about, it's basically you're flipping a contract. Like they're saying, you know, that it's wholesaling. Typical wholesaling is when like a bank has foreclosed on massive amounts of real estate, and they're just selling it either to investors, and those investors are now selling it again. But
I'll give you an example of wholesaling.
This is flipping contracts.
My case was based on a property in Fort Lauderdale called Marina Oaks. Marina Oaks was 300 and some apartments. We sold them for $300,000. They ended up being worth about $30,000 after the market crash.
That doesn't make sense. That's the reverse of what he's talking about.
And this is the emotional part of the conversation. This is where I feel really bad about this. So
he feels bad.
So regardless of how much money I made, now you had 300 owners distressed.
Yes.
That's a wholesale opportunity. You buy for 30 or 20 because the bank took them all.
Right.
And then you rehab, hold on to them. They're going to be worth, right now I think they're worth like 150, 160.
Nice.
Maybe
if they'd only held on to them for 15 years.
Well, you know, I mean, patience.
So
the money is on the waiting.
Okay, so.
No, it's not.
Oh my God. I flipped.
But that's wholesaling though. They're once again, the concept is right.
Right. So here's the problem. Okay. Here's the problem. Now, what he's saying is, you know, the difference between this and I feel like he's alluding to a simultaneous closing, which here's the problem is that a lot of the terms that they're using have been diluted or altered slightly as opposed to what the true real estate terms are. So let me give you an example is that I kind of feel like what he's saying, and maybe I missed it. It could be me, but he's basically saying, so you're trying to sell your property for whatever, 15 grand. I get a contract with you for 15 grand. I sell the contract to someone else for 30 grand, right? So then that person turns around, they renovate the property, they sell it for 150,000. Let's say, I'm thinking that's what he's saying. But here's the problem. You basically need the guy who's buying it from you. He has to buy it on a cash deal, because if that guy is trying to get financing of any kind for that property, they're going to see that the title is jumping from the original owner to you to the new owner, and that's a simultaneous closing because you're buying it, I'm buying it, you're actually buying it in reverse. This guy bought it from me for 30 before I even buy it. So I close the same day for 15. So I get my 30, I pay 15 to the original owner the same day, and then it's sold, and then the new owner has it. He bought it for
Unless
30.
you do like what I used to do is I will write an option contract. And I will tell somebody, listen, you see that house worth 150? Yeah.
Yes.
I have an option for 15. Give me 30.
Yeah.
And I'll sell you the option.
Right.
I'll give this guy the 15 and I keep 15.
Right. And I think that may or may not be also what he's talking about. But when you get a lender involved, you have an issue.
Yeah. And you know what? In our time, we didn't have technology to compete with. All we had was people. You know who's doing this right now? Zillow.
Oh, yeah.
So really, you're going to compete with Zillow. Zillow's paying top dollars to distressed buyers right now. And they're buying properties left and right cash. So, I mean, unless you go to like a rinky-dinky town where nobody has a computer or internet
what's driving up the prices.
Yeah.
All right. So
yes, the concept, real.
Yeah.
You know, but not that simple.
But not that simple.
Not possible.
Never that simple. And that's the whole thing is that all of his videos, he's trying to give you enough to go, oh my gosh, I have to do that. And then he moves you.
Well, because you and you know this.
I get that.
That's the nature of our crime.
Yeah.
The nature of our crime was just providing very little information and taking advantage of the people that got, enough to make a decision.
Right.
But it's not the right decision.
Right. Well, all right. So let's keep going.
Now, everybody want to know how to make 6 figures in real estate.
Listen, if you want to make 6 figures off the back, you don't got no money, you ain't got no credit, you might not even have a job right now. I'm about to give you all the sauce on how you can do that right now. So what you can do is do exactly what my brother did. He's 21 years old working at Amazon.
He's got a bit of a testimonial issue. Listen, I can bring you right now 150 people that are my students that I don't know. Right. I may not even like them.
Right.
But they have results. They're not related to me. But let me tell you how I did it. And you know who else did it? My little brother. And you know who else did it?
Well,
my grandmother, but she died, so she cannot be here today.
You know how much hate you're going to get me, bro? I'm trying to not get hate for this.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so you're going to show me how you make 6 digits, please.
Okay, he's going to show you
so
right
I
now.
can take a pay cut.
He's going to show you how you did it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm playing now, and we're at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. All right, so.
Amazon, sleeping on the couch. I gave him a chance. He jumped in the real estate industry and completely changed his life. All you got to do right now is do what's called joint venturing. A joint venture is just when you partner with another wholesaler to get the deal done. Instead of going out and trying to locate a bunch of motivated sellers, all you need to do is focus on finding all of the other people that wholesale and connect all of the buyers that you have with the sellers that they have and get paid for it. It's that simple.
What can somebody do that's
What are you doing with this
not
stupid-ass
looking to
podcast?
really
Not that.
wholesale real estate,
Yeah, I should be
but
doing
really looking to make money, you know, and like a first-time home buyer?
Cover my place so I know they can't find me.
Oh, this is the
dump off a packet. She said it ain't tricking if yo I got it.
This is true. This is a real strategy. Listen, this is. I hear real guys talking.
I want to show you something. I want to show you something, and I want Colby
It's a real thing.
I want Colby to focus on this for a second. You know, when you get to a point in your life where you say, "Man, I'm successful," is usually when you realize that somebody that is successful at something is doing what you are doing, and you say, "Okay, so I guess I've reached that level." So I want to show Colby something. Check this out, baby. Oh, same shoes that guy had. I made it. That's when you know you have made it. All right. So let's talk about the no money 100 grand with you just find a bunch of buyers and a bunch of sellers.
Talk about that? Okay.
Yes. Once again, there is truth to that.
Yeah.
But not on real estate, on every business.
Yeah.
People get caught up on the product. There is money on the leads. Leads is where the money's at.
Right.
Listen, man, if you sell insurance, I don't need to sell insurance to make money. I just need to sell you the clients to make money. So, yeah. Listen, I think anybody that is looking at this, they should look at how to make a landing page, how to market that landing page, get the clients, and sell them to somebody. That's it.
Right. Okay. Well, here's the one that gets me, by the way. Okay. So this is the one. It is the BRRRR strategy, and it is a real strategy.
Of course.
And it is so. But when you listen to it as someone who owned a brokerage business, a mortgage company, someone who's I was a licensed FHA and VA lender. We also did conventional and subprime loans. I have a lot of experience, and all of that experience and all of that stuff is still being used to this day. And it
hasn't changed.
No, everybody's like, "Oh, well, you can't do this no more." That's not how it works.
The guidelines haven't changed.
Yeah. The only difference is when I was doing it, you had to have a 620 credit score, and they raised it to 650. Well, guess what? They raised it back down. It's 620 again.
Correct.
So nothing's changed.
And it's still 3% down on FHA, and it's still first-time home buyers and all that stuff.
Right.
Nothing has changed in the industry.
So this is the part that kind of kills me, because he says it, and it sounds so like, it's like, wow.
Real?
It does. It sounds real, but it's once again, you're not getting enough information so that it's like saying, hey, go apply for this credit card. And we'll see this in the next video. Go apply for this credit card. You just go get the credit card and you apply and this and that.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the ab roller. Remember the ab roller?
Yeah, I saw them.
So you had these people with like a big belly, and then somebody will show up and say, listen, you want to lose it? Yeah. You want a six-pack? Yeah. The ab roller.
Anyway.
Just go like this every day. They don't tell you that you have to change your diet. They don't tell you that you have to move and do cardio and all that stuff. Right. This is the ab roller of real estate.
So let's check out the ab roller. Hold on.
Got that little bitch.
Right. What the BRRRR strategy is, when you buy a property, you're going to renovate the property, rent the property out, refinance it. Then
I'm sorry, stop right there for a second. Please, for the love of God.
Okay.
Is this refinance? Is that...
Huh?
Is that refinance?
Oh, is it spelled wrong? Oh, wow. It's probably a typo.
No, I listen, I'm new on this thing. I don't know. It could be something new that the banks are doing.
You know what's really funny is that, I wouldn't mind doing a video with BANDMAN KEVO. However,
we tried that already with Big Herc, and that didn't work, man.
Yeah, no, the Big Herc thing didn't work.
Please,
This guy,
stop stop doing collaborations.
Listen, this guy This guy, I think he went to prison for 2 or 3 years for a credit card fraud. I think that's what he did. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm somebody had told me that he did federal time. Listen. At the very least, he came out and he made a bunch of money.
No.
He's like, it's not. Listen, it ain't cheap to rent that boat, to rent that fucking, rent the Lamborghini,
the
to
jewelry,
rent the nice car, to rent all that jewelry.
Yeah,
that's
and the sale of information. That's the real business right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, he's doing good.
Of course.
So I'm just joking. I'm sure he owns all that stuff. That was just a joke. All right, hold on. Here, I'm gonna see if I can get my hatred in the comments down for once, because I'm jacking it up like you can't believe. Like it's real. Colby, is it not out the fucking roof at this point?
I'm here,
and I don't even feel like I'm being hateful.
I'm here to balance this out because people do love me.
Because the thing is, I would say all this if the guy was there. Oh, well, I would say that if he was here.
This is my argument. English is my second language. So
I know. I understand. All right, here, let's go. So here it is. So we're at 4 minutes and 31 seconds.
By the way, this strategy, are they gonna see the screen in the video?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the brrr strategy.
Right.
That process. If you do that over and over and over again, you'll be able to build up your net worth. You can liquidate all those properties at any moment, sell everything, and cash out on a real big payday.
You know what?
Okay,
My clients used to hope for that. That's exactly what I used to tell them in 2004. Listen, you buy 5 apartments, they're leased out, you rehab them, you hold on to them, and then 10 years from now, you can sell and make all your money and retire.
Well, you're
and
missing,
then the market crashed.
You're missing the point.
And I went to prison.
Look, you're missing the point here. Okay, I'm gonna show you what the point is. Let's go back to. I'm gonna show you what the point is. Okay, where was it? Where's the strategy?
The brr?
Oh yeah, there's the brr. All right, hold on. let's.
Is that an actual thing?
What the BRRRR strategy is, when you buy a property, you're gonna renovate the property, rent the property out, refinance it, then repeat.
Okay, let me just explain something to you. Okay, from a lender perspective. Now, this is a strategy that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But doesn't work. Let me tell you why. Only because here's why. Now I could make it work, but I would be buying the properties. I would be buying the properties correctly, recording the sales incorrectly, and then I would be refinancing the property because of seasoning.
That's correct.
Okay, so when you buy a property, here's the issue with this, and that's why if some guy comes in and says, "Yeah, bro, I bought the property for $100,000. I renovated it. I got an appraisal. It was worth $200,000, and I refinanced it and got all my money back." And if he told me he did that and it was less than 1 year, because you have to wait 1 year, you can refinance it immediately. But here's the underwriting guidelines. I buy it for $100,000. If I put $50,000 into the property and it will appraise at $200,000, the lender will only allow me to use the value of the home at the $100,000 I bought it for plus the $50,000. They won't let me use the $200,000 value, not for 1 year. It's called seasoning. They want to have the property seasoned in your name for 1 year. So I can now, if I can prove I spent $50,000, I can say, okay, and it still has to appraise over the $150,000. If it appraises at $150,000, they'll let me use $150,000 as long as I can say I bought it for $100,000. I can prove that. Put $50,000 in it. I can prove that. They'll say, okay, we'll go with $150,000. But he's saying, these guys
they're not going to refinance 100% of the value.
No, they're also only going to give you, because you don't live in the property.
Correct.
It's an investment property, so they're going to give you maybe
70 to 80%.
I was just going to say,
if you are lucky,
maybe 80%.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, but let's benefit of the doubt.
80%.
What is they're going to get 80%. Of the 80% of 150. So he's got 150 in it. He's going to get $120,000 back. With that, that's 80% of 150. So he just lost $30,000. So he had to come up with the $100,000 to buy the property and the $50,000. Now maybe he got a hard money lender. Maybe the hard money lender lent him the money, and then he refinanced it. In which case, if he refinanced it at that point, he might be okay, but there's just no way. I mean, it's even that number. He's still losing at least $10,000 to $20,000, even because the hard money lender goes off the $200, it's going to be $130 minus the closing cost. By the time he's done, he's still losing every property.
And this is the problem, man.
It does sound good though.
It sounds great.
I would love to do this.
But you need some financial knowledge to make these deals work also. You are looking at short-term capital gains, long-term capital gains. You are looking at depreciation of the property that is going to go against your taxes.
They're not saying any of that stuff.
You may actually end up owing a shitload of money to the government when you sell or when you liquidate or you sell all these assets.
Here's the other thing is this. To get the loan, the 80% loan from the bank a year after you purchase the property, to get the 80%, you have to qualify for it. Now, you do own the property, so it's just a simple refi. But here's the problem. You have to have credit score, high credit scores.
Correct.
You have to have been on your job for 2 years. You have to be able to prove that your debt to income ratio works well enough that you can afford to pay the mortgage on this. You also have to have perfect rental history for 2 years. And I'm going to throw another curve at you.
This may work with the first rental,
but on your second nightmare
one,
by the second, by the
third, you're
by
going
the
to
fifth.
refinance about 70%. The third one about 50%. The fourth one you're not going to refinance.
Yeah, no. Listen, most banks will only allow you to refinance about 5 to 10 properties.
So you know what the solution to this is?
Not just that, but you understand. One more thing is that means that every year you have to have claimed all of your rental income, all your depreciation. You have to have perfect credit for every one of these, and your income has to continue to grow enough to make sure you continue to debt to income ratio.
One way to make this work, the way they want it to work. One way.
Oh wait, I know.
Fraud.
Like, listen,
Correct.
my ex-wife
had
I've
done this.
Oh, I did. Listen, my ex-wife had got 50. It was actually 54. 54 rental units within 1 year, and I can tell you right now, total fraud.
Let me tell you, you want to talk about credit manipulation? I have people that used to take the mortgages off the credit, and they will apply again, and then take it off the credit, and then they will over and over and over.
We got another video.
The
next video is right down your alley. I mean, this one's down my alley because I understand that he's skimming over a lot of this. Because
like I said, I'm not questioning the knowledge. What I want the viewers to know is
it's not that easy.
It's not only that easy. If you really want to go that route and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get this done, I need you to either contact me or Matt so we can calculate how much time you're going to do in federal prison.
I will do your pre-sentence report.
Absolutely, because it's a guideline. So depending on how many properties you do this with, and I'll tell you what.
Whether you get sophisticated means, did you leave the jurisdiction to evade detection?
Did you watch Big Herc's video? Are you going to snitch or not? All that has a lot to do with it.
Did you use a specialized instrument? By the way, you can get a 2-point enhancement for using a specialized instrument in your fraud, and that is simply the computer.
Correct, the internet.
Did you use the internet?
Can you read? Yeah. Oh, sophisticated.
Right. That's an extra 2 points, which is depending on where your criminal history is.
Did you use 5 banks? Yeah. Okay. So that's 5 victims.
Oh, yeah. That's 5 victims right there. Everybody that you've talked to is basically.
So you're going to end up doing 4 or 5 years. But I'll tell you what, after 5 years, you can sell your assets and you can do whatever he says to live your happily ever after.
Well, that's assuming that they don't just take every single thing you have, which they will. Okay. So let's. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with your cell phone. I'm telling you, man.
I think your viewers got a hold on my cell phone, and they're calling me to tell me that I suck.
I'm going to go ahead and continue to play this from Colby. I'm going to play it from 4 minutes and 29 seconds, and I know everybody's screaming and hollering right now. Okay, so.
That process. If you do that over and over and over again, you'll be able to build up your net worth. You can liquidate all the properties at any moment, sell everything, and cash out on a real big payday. You can get what's called a bank statement loan. If you haven't done your taxes, you can get with a lender. They'll pre-approve you just based off of your income.
Okay, this is a problem.
Based on what income?
No, based off your
income. If you haven't done your taxes,
right?
These set of specific lenders out here that you gotta,
you gotta let me take this one.
Hold on.
And they'll approve you for an FHA or conventional loan just like anybody else. Now the catch is, you just gotta put a little bit more money down. The specific lender that I have, if you got at least a 620, you gotta put down around 25% of the purchase price. If you got a 640 and above, you can get away with only putting down 10%. Okay. And they're not checking your taxes at all.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Sounds good. That's amazing, man.
All right. So this is fraud. I was an FHA approved lender.
Listen.
That's a straight
First
fraud
of all,
statement.
I think people need to understand that FHA is not a loan. It's an insurance policy on a loan.
Right.
Okay, so this guy is saying if you haven't done your
You still
taxes,
have to go by FHA guidelines.
correct.
Right. Okay.
If you haven't done your taxes, they will go based on your income.
Yeah.
What income are we talking about?
That doesn't make sense.
Well,
The
it does
statement-
make sense. It makes sense if you're lying about your income and you don't have taxes to prove them.
Right, but he's saying, like, how do they determine what your income is if you're not providing them with your taxes? He's saying bank statements, but there's no FHA bank statement program that I know of. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and go, since I'm about 99.99%
Whatsoever.
positive that the federal government is not going to insure a loan product that they believe is fraudulent, especially after the 2008 financial crisis, which proved tons of people. These are called liar loans.
Correct.
And look, there are financial institutions out there that are doing them at a certain level where they're doing it a little bit, but you have to have perfect credit. You have to have,
and you understand that the liability is on you. If that property defaults, they're going to be knocking on your door. And they're going to tell you, listen, if you were in the financial position to buy this property and pay for it, why is it in foreclosure right now? So this whole part of the video, this is where it gets very dangerous, man. This is when the information can get people in trouble.
Yeah. I by the way, I'd like to also mention the liar loans, where these guys were saying, hey, I'm going to go in. I can't provide my W-2s or pay stubs. I can't prove my taxes. I'm going to go in, but I'm going to tell you that I make enough money.
And that's my point.
That's a liar loan. Well, that's what they're saying. So, by the way, there's a guy named John LeBron.
Oh, my God. I know John LeBron.
26 years. Went to trial. Got 26 years.
Yeah.
Still in prison. And his whole thing was, he said, look, I went to the broker. The broker said whatever he said on the application. I provided.
Correct.
He told me it was a no-doc loan. So when they indicted John LeBron,
By the way, he did that over and over and over and over. These guys say.
It's millions.
Millions.
It's millions.
Yes.
John LeBron said, I haven't done anything wrong. I am going to trial. And he did. And God bless him, because it's the right thing to do if you truly believe you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, guess what? John LeBron lost at trial. And John LeBron got 20. The only reason I know 26 because he got the same sentence as me. And I don't know how many. It was 15, 20, 30 million. I forget how many millions it was. You know what? I don't know that it was.
Mine was
no, yours
hefty.
was outrageous.
But this is one thing that like at the beginning of the video, I said this. Are you willing to say that statement that you just said in front of a federal agent? Just as an informational, listen, let's call an agent and let me tell him my buying strategies, see if they work or they don't work. This thing right here, this strategy about being an entrepreneur and this is a crime. Do not, please, if you're watching this, do not engage in this kind of behavior unless you want to go to prison.
Yeah, it's an issue, and I know people that it's been an issue for.
Yeah,
but listen,
remember
once again,
Carlton Sheets?
Yeah. But it sounds good. This sounds good.
Carlton Sheets he disappeared because they were investigating him and they were going to indict him because of his no money down strategy to buy real estate, which was basically you inflate the price, kind of like, what we all used to do.
Oh, listen, I knew, I forget other guy that was there. Was a guy that was there. He was so arrogant. I forget his name.
Not Kevin Trudeau.
No, it was tall,
who also was doing time.
Tall, thin, white guy, real estate crime, went to trial, got like 30 years. Same thing, just like unwilling to accept the fact that what you were doing was criminal. And the fact is this guy, this is basically, look, maybe there's.
By the way, they are not committing a crime.
No,
they're saying whatever they want to say.
Right, and look, but the fact is, I don't know where this bank exists. It's certainly not an FHA loan. No. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'd love to talk to these guys and say, where is that? And you know what they'd say to me? Well, if you go to my fans only page. If you go to my fans only account and sign up, we can talk about that. But my problem is, I told you I have a buddy that signed up with him to talk to him on the phone, Kevo, and he said, Kevo, he's like, he didn't have any information. He wouldn't tell me anything. So he got me to pay $500
because it doesn't exist.
Right, it's not true. Yeah, he can't tell you where to go. Here's where
impossible.
You go. But listen, we got other videos we're gonna do, and he does have some good information. Some of it, a lot of it, take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of it,
Kevo is a guy. Kevo is a guy with a.
The big FG.
Okay.
Thing. What is this? What is FG?
I don't know.
Say anything mean.
Fraud gangster or something like that.
Fraud guy. Maybe fraud. No.
There you go.
Stop.
Or fall guy.
So, no, I don't think he's. This guy here is the fall guy. Okay, so yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good stuff. I would love to talk to these guys.
Yeah,
but
I want the strategy. I want give me the blueprint.
Yeah, I want to talk to this lender. I want to talk to this lender.
First, I want to go to the city where I can find that motivated seller.
Yeah,
Let's start with that one.
The one who's selling his $200,000 piece of property
for 15 grand. Right now in this market, right now. Then I want to then I want the crew. I want to meet the crew that is going to do the rehab.
Yeah. And by the way, not get paid up front.
Well,
so they're going to do all the work, and then they're going to wait a couple of days to get paid. You know how many times that's happened to me? And they always, as soon as they're done, like, bro, I need the money. Bro, I need the money. Bro, you said you'd wait 3 days to get the...
Did you ever watch a show called Undercover Billionaire? The first season, not the second season. So
I watched 1 or 2 episodes.
The first season, the guy does this. He buys an apartment and he flips it and he sells it and he convinces somebody to do the work for him. But first of all, they're splitting the profits. And this guy went to the bank and he had good credit and they gave him a line of credit. So this is not a strategy. First of all, this strategy doesn't work. But a lot of these strategies are not for broke people.
No. You have to have some money.
You have to have some money in the bank.
No. And we'll talk about that when he talks about his credit, because a lot of it talks about getting secure credit cards, and he's like, yeah, so go to the bank and put down 20 grand. First of all, the secure credit card, by the way, it says up to $9,999, but that's fine. Whatever, that's fine. So let's say it's $20,000 secure credit card. It's like,
and that's obsolete. And today that's obsolete.
Right. You've got 20 grand to put. Yeah. If you got 20 grand, how do you have bad credit? I think this is also about credit.
But in 2 weeks, though. The other one was in 60 days. This one is in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So, because it's, like I said, it's like the ab
roll. It's a new secret.
It's the ab roller. It's that they came out. You come out with a 10-minute ab roller, and then they say, well, what can I do to make the ab roller better? Let's come out with the 8-minute.
It's like the 7-minute abs, and then somebody cares.
What about the 5-minute abs?
Of course.
Well, what are you going to do if the 3-minute abs come out?
Correct.
So anyway, now he's saying he can, instead of in 60 days, get you is it 800 credit score? Anyway, he's saying now basically improve your credit score in 2 weeks, which I'm not even sure how that works. But all right, 2 weeks. So
kind of weird.
We are at 49 seconds, and let's go ahead and hear what old Kevo has to say.
I hear that's trying to get their credit right now because at first they're thinking if they couldn't buy it cash, why get it? But now people are like, hold on, I can really leverage my money now. So you really out here changing the game one by one.
Yeah, like a lot of people inbox me, they be like, man, bro, how can I go through this? What can I do to do this and do that? And I'm just like, man, I feel like what I need to do is set up some type of either trade line site or credit cleaning site or, you know what I'm saying? Some way I can just help people, you know what I'm saying, build a credit.
For free?
And stuff like that,
No, he's not. He's not doing. Listen.
Okay.
He's not doing nothing for free, bro.
Helping. I thought it was for free.
A lot of people didn't know about trades. They don't even know they can clean their credit. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Well, it's working.
Oh, that's right. That's what this one's about.
Now,
Listen.
I get my credit cleaned often because we all make mistakes. We pay shit late.
Often.
It's not like wiping your ass. That's something that you do once and that's it.
Because everybody out here credit's fucked up. Let's get that shit right.
Right. It's always an inquiry.
My credit's perfect. I have perfect credit.
I have no credit, courtesy to the BOP.
Well, that's
everybody's credit's fucked up out here these days because it's always an inquiry. It's always an eviction, hospital bills, student loans. But when I told you, I was like, yo, man, I'm paying somebody to do my shit. You kind of was like, yo, you can do that shit on your own. What's the steps to even building your credit to a better level?
Okay, as far as it just depends on if you about to clean your credit, you know what I mean?
He means dispute letters.
Very first thing you want to do is figure out what's all on your credit and what needs to be removed, what's stopping your points from going up. So what I do is, as far as the very first thing I do is I get these attorney letters.
The very first thing he does is pull your credit, get your
letters out, and once you mail them letters out, you're basically asking the credit bureau, can they remove?
Did he say he gets the attorney letters and he copies them?
He explained. Listen,
it's an attorney way. It's like a finesse.
It's a finesse,
but you know what I'm saying. It's a legal finesse to do it.
I don't know what that means.
All it is.
Well, do you know that the attorney letters are intellectual property and cannot be copied?
And when he says that, he's like, it's a finesse, but it's like a legal finesse. I don't even know what you're saying. Because first of all, he's real vague about it. So he says attorney letters, but I think he means dispute, the average dispute letter.
The verbiage.
Right,
he's copying the verbiage.
Yes, but when he starts talking about going and finding letters written by attorneys.
I am trying to contain my anger because I'm about to turn into this guy here.
So,
because this is a part of this is what I don't like. Okay, first of all, you have to understand how the system works to understand how the letter works. Right. They have a system called eOscar. Have you ever heard of eOscar?
No.
eOscar is where they scan the letter. And once that the letter is scanned, they assign a code to what you're asking for, and that code gets sent to the creditor. He doesn't know what eOscar is. eOscar is an OCR. So basically what you got to do is, for example, the first thing I would have said is, do not use an attorney letter.
Okay.
You handwrite the letter.
Handwrite?
Of course, because they can't scan it.
Right. Okay.
So they'll need a human to read it. And they're getting, right now they're getting 20,000 letters a day.
Yeah.
And you print it, hopefully, or you write it on yellow paper to make sure it cannot be scanned. And you don't need legal terms. You remember when we were in prison, how Frank used to say the best motion you write is the one that you write?
Yeah. And simple.
And we used to joke about hey, you can write the judge. Listen, motherfucker, reduce my sentence.
Green crown. You can use a.
Yeah.
You can. I need a. This is
my 2 points.
My nice guy motion.
Yeah.
Like, you should reduce my sentence. Why? Because I'm a nice guy.
Slim. Hey, Slim.
Send it out.
And that goes in the docket, and that is a legal document.
Yeah.
So this whole legal mambo jambo is to give value to his knowledge. But if you're listening to this, just grab a piece of paper and get a green crayon and say, Equifax, this shit ain't mine. No. Sign it, send it. That's it. That's a letter. That's a dispute letter.
So,
and an effective one too.
So he, but once again, going back a little bit.
But you have to add value to what he sells, which obviously.
Well, I also, he jumps over. Listen, he does not explain things well. He's not extremely articulate, and that's fine.
I'm beginning to believe that he doesn't really know how the system works.
I think that's very true, probably in some ways, but he's trying to move you to his fans only page so that he can make money, and he's making money. Listen, his videos are doing great. Listen.
Yeah,
for his whole, for lack of a better, scheme. And a scheme doesn't mean it's illegal.
Correct. His strategy.
Yeah, people hear scheme and they think illegal. But regardless, what I'm saying is his whole strategy is to put himself out there as an expert, say some very vague things, and get you to move to his OnlyFans where you have to pay.
Where you get the sauce.
Where you get the sauce, but you never really get the sauce. So what I'm saying is the first thing I want to clarify is that he is right. The first thing you have to do is pull your credit and find out what's on there and what you want to dispute.
Not from Credit Karma.
Yeah, no, not Credit Karma is not a real thing.
That's
correct.
Really,
it's not.
That score is not real. That information is inaccurate.
You can go to annualcreditreport.com. You can get it for free once a year. They give it to you for free. They don't give you your scores for free, but it doesn't matter. Clearly, you have bad credit, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You find out what your collections are. You can then find out who to write, who the collection agencies are.
If you're watching BANDMAN KEVO, you have bad credit.
Yeah. So. That's so bad.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Okay.
Colby, how many times have you watched BANDMAN KEVO in the past?
0. All right.
800 score.
800 scores.
I'm trying to get him to give me his social security number.
Colby needs to. Yeah. All right. So let's move forward because he is right. You can write letters yourself.
Correct.
I wouldn't pull them from a lawyer. I wouldn't try and find lawyer letters.
No.
I would just write your own letter in your own words and explain it. So
handwritten, not typed.
Yeah. So we're gonna continue, Cole, because he tells you kind of where to find the letters. So,
really?
1, 2. All right. Now.
Fiverr. You can get them off the web, like the dark web. Junkie. You know what I'm saying? You can get them. Only thing you got to do is basically go to like credit cleaning letters, attorney letters, and stuff like that, and you can find them. It's your job to make sure that it's set up right to mail them out, you know what I'm saying? Make sure everything's in order and be professional when you're doing it. That's why you are paying people to do it, because some people don't want to go through all that. But it's really simple. If I always looked at shit like, if they can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that was made me just not be lazy. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna learn how to do it myself.
If this guy can operate on somebody, I can operate on somebody.
Yeah. Credit bureau, you know what I'm saying? Until it comes off, basically.
That's crazy. So you're just going online, studying the shit yourself.
Basically just mastering everything, you know what I mean? Just everything about credit. Mm-hmm. How to clean it, how to build it, how to do this, how to do that. Primaries, like we was talking about.
Stop
My
right there for a
Jeweler
second.
Club and stuff like that. Just
Colby, you want to know how to make a great chocolate cake? I'm going to give you the recipe. I'm going to give you the recipe BANDMAN style. First thing you do, you take a little bit of this and some of that. Then you put it in that thing. You chuku, woo, woo, woo. Put it in the oven. Pound, doom, 350, out. Yummy, delicious.
If that didn't answer all your questions, you can hit me up on my OnlyFans.
Next, we're going to be cooking paella.
All right, so let's keep going. 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Let's keep going. Anyway, so.
Little primaries that we can add on just to, while we add AUs,
low primaries.
you know what I'm saying, with just trade lines, we mixing it in with primaries, AUs.
Explain the AU and the trade line because that goes over a lot of people's heads sometimes.
Like an AU is something that'll fall off within a month or 3 months.
No, it doesn't fall off. It stays with you.
Yeah, it's as long as
me use their information.
So, for instance,
absolutely untrue. Yeah.
Actually, the danger of that AU is that it stays with you.
A loan for 8 years, you know what I mean, and they've been paying on time. I will give them $700, right? And they'll let it report on my credit for maybe about a month to 3 months. You might get lucky if it lasted 3 months, right? But it's going to fall off.
So he is saying you have perfect credit. You have a credit card with $20,000. You've got less than $1,000 on the card. You've just been paying for 10 years.
You're going to pay me $700.
I'm going to give you $700 so that you add me as an authorized signer so it goes on my credit.
So I commit fraud.
Real thing. It's a real thing.
It is fraud.
But it's because of the $700.
Correct.
Like if you're my mom or you're my cousin and you want to do it to give me an authorized signer, I'm going to...
Dude, are you running a telemarketing room on the side or something? Or what? Are you selling timeshare vacations?
It's through my phone.
Oh.
And it goes to the computer.
I thought maybe you were selling like 3 nights, 2 days in Orlando and Disney tickets or something.
Oh my God. Don't smile, Colby. You're only encouraging him.
This is Matthew Cox, and right now we're selling these coffee mugs. Call us now.
I'm not selling those. I actually have coffee mugs, and they're on my store.
So I am right.
I should use them.
You should, yeah. This is the only guy that...
Because you know why? Because, Stacy, my friend Stacy, her 2 boys gave me these.
Okay, but they're not made by the kids.
No.
So they have no sentimental value.
But they gave them to me for Christmas, and I like them, and they're big. And my coffee mugs suck, which is probably, they're too small. I need bigger coffee mugs. And I just haven't got around to do it. Listen, guys.
All right. Make sure you hit Matthew's store and buy some coffee mugs.
So what he's saying now is he's saying now you're going to pay somebody, which by the way just made it illegal.
Yeah.
You cannot be paying people to add stuff to your credit. It has to be somebody that like your cousin who did it because he wants to let you use your credit card.
The credit cards didn't design this for you to sell it.
Right. So because that means anybody could go out and get 10 credit cards and they could go online and they could just start selling those authorized. But here's what he's saying too, and this is why he says it will drop off. For $700, they'll leave it on your credit for 90 days. For 60 to 90 days. And it will drop off because they're going to remove you.
But even when they remove you, it still stays.
Well, I understand, but it's not continually updating.
Correct, but it's going to stay there. It's not that it's going to drop off magically. Now, this is where it's dangerous. If that person that added you to their credit cards is late one time, that late is actually going to show on your report too.
Okay.
So that person may damage your credit. It's a good strategy, but they've been paying on time, of course.
They're right there.
People don't fall behind on their credit cards.
No,
that's a myth.
No. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go.
The main source for it is if you're trying to get a credit card or trying to get a loan, to get the AU at that time of the time you're trying to get the loan. You get what I'm saying? It's basically like a timely thing that you're doing it for. Like, okay, let me get 2 AUs. They both 20,000, that's 40,000.
That shirt,
okay, let me apply for this credit card.
A couple of AUs.
You get what I'm saying? But if you now primaries on the other hand, they report I don't matter how long. They might stay on there for 2 years, 3 years, depending on how long you are paying on.
What is a primary then? I'm confused now.
You ever heard of self?
Oh, self. He's telling you about self.
Yeah,
that's
what I just said.
Yeah. A lot of little sites or whatever that you can use that'll help your credit a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Like what? Give me more. Give me more, BANDMAN KEVO. Don't leave me hanging like this.
That's it.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
That's it. Just went off. So yeah, he's and if you go to his fans only page, he'll
tell you all about sauce.
Yeah.
And if you call him for $500,
I don't think he knows what this. I don't think he knows really. I think he'll give you a couple websites and he'll tell you.
Well,
but
I don't think he knows. He mentions Self because Self is on TV.
Yeah.
But I don't think he.
It's super vague.
I don't think he knows. I don't think
he's
he's ever been himself. I don't think he knows how it works. I don't think he knows how to open an account.
Driving a Lambo.
Well, so am I. Let me rephrase that. When I get my driver license.
Yeah, when you get your driver's license, and you can.
When I'm all enough, Mom.
Yeah, and you can rent a car.
It's not because I don't have a DUI or I know how to drive. It's just that.
So
currently the United States doesn't believe that I should be driving.
You have a buddy who came down. He lives in, let's say he came down. We had dinner and everything, and he rented a lime green Lamborghini. So we go to and listen, he was like, bro, let's take it out. And I was like, I don't want to drive it. Yeah. And he was like, why? It's like, it's not my car, and I get it. It's cool for you. I mean, he's like a multimillionaire.
You don't know these people because you were part of the lighter crew in Coleman. And but a couple of the Hispanics over there, a couple of my friends, they own luxury car rentals in Miami.
Okay. Yeah.
I can go to Miami anytime and get a Lambo, actually for free, not because I'm special, but because I did time with them. As a matter of fact, one of them I got him a sentence reduction.
Yeah, you know what's funny is what is funny about this is that like I have guys that when I first started, same thing with the Lambo guy. He's actually a good buddy of mine. Like I love him to death. But he's like, listen, let's go get a yacht. And we're gonna get you on the he's thinking like, let's set up the whole BS. And I go, I don't want to do that. He's like, why? Everybody does it. It'd be great. You could fake it till you make it. Like it's for him.
We've done
it's
that.
Fun.
We've done that.
Right, but
we faked it until we made it.
I know, but he's saying for the
actually you faked it a lot.
He's saying for the purposes of YouTube and he's saying like do it like because he's like that's what people do, and I was just like I don't want to do it like that. Like I
would have loved.
I want to be authentic.
I would have loved for this guy to say, look at this guy's credit report and look at it 30 days later. Look at this guy's look at this guy's check that he got for $300,000 and look at his bank account 4 months ago.
And I'd love to see the application. How did he qualify for that loan?
Of course. Listen, you're really gonna do live. Like a YouTube thing, walk to the bank, listen, we're gonna, right now, this is me and Matt, and we are going to get our first $500,000 loan.
Yeah, that would be,
listen, I wouldn't be picking the process apart because it works. But a lot of people, listen, this is.
He's definitely, if it is fake, he's faking his way to the top. He's making great money.
You have to appreciate certain things.
You got to appreciate the finesse.
That is a Bruno Mars song, by the way.
If you like the video, do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the bell. Leave a comment. Share the video. Leave some nasty comments for if you're a BANDMAN KEVO.
Si hablas español, suscríbete al canal, por favor. Ayuden a este pobre señor blanco aquí, por favor.
I heard Blanco. All right, bro. All right, I got to get off before he says something in Spanish. All right. I appreciate you guys watching, and see ya.
Ciao.